Hi, this is Miguel from Eden Prairie, and congratulations, you're watching Takeover TV.
What is up, friends? Takeover peeps, random person coming across this video. However you got here, I'm so happy to have you. I am back in Florida, back home. I was on a 10-day trip to Minneapolis in Minnesota. It was super fun. Got to spend a lot of good time with family, friends, loved ones. Took a trip up north to Duluth, Minnesota, where Lake Superior is. Hit a donut shop that I love. Got a delicious caramel roll from there and hung out. Went out to eat, got good food, drinks, coffee, hung out with friends, bandmates, had good brother time, had a few double dates and other dates too. My parents were super gracious and awesome, or I am gracious for my parents who are super awesome. They took my daughter for multiple overnights so that Sophia and I could enjoy some date nights out. My heart is completely full. Question of the day: what was your extracurricular activity in high school? Was it sports? Were you into the arts? Were you a musician? Did you play in band? Anything like that? Let me know what your thing was, even if it was going home and playing video games. Sports news: the NBA feels like it hasn't even stopped. I mean, we're not that far off of the NBA finals. Then we had the NBA draft. Now Summer League already starts on Monday, I believe. And it just keeps going. And here's the thing: some of you might think Summer League is boring. Maybe you don't. I understand that it's not quite at the height of an NBA regular season. However, it is so fun speculating and watching the new faces that were just drafted coming in. And this year is going to be great. I don't think any of the top guys are skipping out on Summer League. I mean, Wembanyama is going to be playing, and I can't wait to watch that. I'm going to watch the first Spurs Summer League game. No doubt about it. Speaking of Summer League and the NBA draft, I watched most of the NBA draft this year. I don't always do that. It's not like quite at the spectacle of the NFL draft for me, but it's still fun. I liked the Minnesota Timberwolves picks. One guy is pretty defensive minded. That's my team. I think Victor Wembanyama is in the perfect spot. We knew he was going to the Spurs for a long time, but he is just around the right people to give him all of the direction and help that he needs to be successful. Barring any sort of injury in that tall frame, I think he will have a very successful career. At least it's laid out for him to do that. I mean, he's got the legendary Spurs in his corner and a great coach and a great team. Another pick I really liked, honestly, was Emoni Bates, who, if you know anything about him, he was a really highly recruited high school player, went to Memphis, got in some trouble similar to John Morant stuff, I think. It was gun related, I think. But he ended up transferring. I think he went to like Eastern Michigan or Central Michigan, maybe. Anyways, the Cavs got him in the second round, whereas if none of this happened and he was just a stud player at Memphis, he probably would have been a first-round pick. Now, he's got to stay on the straight and narrow, but if he does, I think he's a second-round steal, so that's great. I also liked seeing, the Thompson twins drafted back-to-back. That was really cool. Excited to see what they do. There's a lot of overtime elite players that are coming into this one, and it's going to be really interesting to see how that translates to the NBA, because you have so many options now. I mean, you got people coming out of college, right? That's the usual standard. You have people coming out of G League now. That's been happening for a number of years now. But now we got overtime elite as well, and it's interesting to see like what leagues leading up to the professional leagues, which one prepares them the most for that. What about you? If you're a NBA fan, basketball fan, what were some of your favorite draft picks, whether they be for your team or someone else? In other basketball news, Naz Reid re-signed with the Timberwolves. It's 3 years, $42 million. I have to check now if that's correct. I wanted to see if I remembered that without looking at my sheet. That is correct. I'm really happy to have him back. He's a great center. Love seeing him play. It was so great that they got him initially, even when I think, was he undrafted? That I don't have written down. He was for sure either a second round pick or undrafted, but I think he was undrafted. John Collins was traded from the Atlanta Hawks to the Utah Jazz for Rudy Gay and a future second round pick. Sports card stuff. Not necessarily new. Well, it is news. It is news because it's new information that none of us had really until this point. Former NFL quarterback, now XFL quarterback, Kurt Benkert, might have said his last name correct, might not have. Anyways, Kurt gave us some transparency and insight into what it's like to be a rookie signing autographs for a card company. Now, I've always wondered like what the deals were structured like and things like that. I think about them sitting there signing the stickers and the cards and the hand cramps and things like that, and I always assumed it was worth their while, but at the same time I didn't know. Now, he breaks it down for us in a TikTok video, and for this he's using his own scenario as the case. For him, he was an undrafted rookie, signed with the Atlanta Falcons in 2018. But here's the thing. Okay, he's talking about Panini specifically. He said you sign the deal with Panini before the draft. So things can change based on where you are picked. In his case, with the undrafted situation, here's how it looked. He was asked to sign 10,000 signatures at $4 a piece. Now here's the other part. If those signatures did well, they were going to order another 10,000 at the $4 a piece rate. And if they asked for that, he had to do it. So basically, he ended up signing 20,000 signatures at $4 a piece. He went on to talk about the other structured deals for people. Say if you were drafted in the first, second, or third round. If you were drafted in the third round, it was something like you'll get an extra $3 per, so you'd be at $7. If in the second round, you'd get an extra 10 or 11, so you're moving up even more. And if you were in the first round, it'd be an extra $15 per, so basically $19 a signature. But if you were in the top 10, it was an extra 20 plus. So that is not a bad deal at all. He was talking about how then you're just, if you're a top 10 player, you're just signing a signature into like $25, $25, $25, $25. I would do that so fast. Video game stuff. It's not news. I just wanted to give a shout out to a channel that I really enjoy on YouTube called Retro Rebound, and also briefly discuss a game that they have convinced me to try. Let's talk about Retro Rebound first. The thing I like about their channel is the dude just feels like your friend. He just offers up a nice, relaxed conversation. Camera is on him. He's got multiple camera views for different things. What he does most commonly, at least my favorite thing on his channel, is he does a let's play this game that was actually released in 2008, but now we're playing it in 2023. Let's see what it looks like. Does it hold up? Is it good? Yada, yada. He's also very good at releasing them around timely things that are happening now. So like, he released, an Indiana Jones set of games around movie time, Spider-Man around the new Spider-Verse, things like he matches that up really well. You can also tell that he's just passionate about video games, truly a collector. He'll give you this really, the way he does it, he makes you feel like even though you're on the other side of a screen that you are there basically personally doing it. He'll like look at the cover, look at the back, enjoy the artwork, look at the manual, and hopefully the manual is cool, and then he'll flip through that and talk about things that makes him happy about it, all that stuff. And then he'll get into like talking about how much he enjoyed the game or didn't, and then show clips of gameplay along the way kind of deal. So it's just very like, it feels like you're just talking with a friend, and I love that. Highly suggest Retro Rebound. Check him out if you like video games. But the game is called Fable. Now, did any of you play Fable back in the day? I remember one of my friends on my high school basketball team talking about this game like it was just the most amazing thing ever. And I'm not going to deep dive into like what the game is. You can look at that for yourself. Go watch the video on Retro Rebound. But it came out on Xbox, and I have never had an Xbox anything. Like even when my friends had Xbox, I didn't play it mostly because Halo was super popular and I sucked at that game. At the time, I'd like to get good now. So I'd oftentimes just like watch them play it, or okay, I did play like a few times and then died instantly. Couldn't drive those warthogs or whatever they're called. Anyways, that's besides the point. I think it would be super fun now to get an Xbox and then fire up some of these games, maybe Halo, but right now I'm talking about Fable. It feels, I think I've mentioned this before, but I love the feeling of like entering a place that it doesn't feel like very many people are, which is a funny thing to say when I'm such a city boy and love being surrounded by people in real life. But I think it's really fun to like explore something. Like it almost feels like if I turned on an Xbox now and hopped on Fable, it's not true, but it feels like no one else in the world is playing it. Like it feels like I've like come across this abandoned town that now I get to explore all these years later and be left to my own devices. I 100% know there's other people playing Fable still, but that's just my feeling and vibe, so let me have it. I'm excited to try Fable anyways. Once again, did any of you play Fable back in the day? Are you familiar with that game? Was it cool? Do you have a suggestion of which one to play? Because I know that there's actually like 3 of them. Anyways, I'm going to try that. And check out Rich for Rebound. Stuff that slaps. I got another podcast for you. The Disney Desk podcast slaps. If you are a fan of Disney anything, this is for you. The Disney Desk is created by 2 friends, Carter Glace and Sydney Nicole Barkley. And it's about Disney and everything related to it. There's adjacent things too. I'll get into that. Their bio reads, 2 Disney adults cover all things Walt Disney animation, Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel, and all things animation. From reviews to debates to deep dives, the Disney Desk is on the case. I personally listen to them on Spotify. You can find them there. They have so many episodes if you want to just binge, which is something you can easily do. And all the episodes are great. Carter and Sydney have a good sense of humor. You can tell that their friendship lends well to this podcast, and it makes me laugh when they get into little debates. Not only is their podcast great, but honestly, if I can upsell you, they crush it on Patreon too. I have subscribed to many Patreons over the years, and some feel like a ghost town where like you subscribe and then the person updates once or twice. Disney Desk is not like that. They give you what they call notes from the host, which are them like post-show talking a little further on a topic. You get like 1 or 2 of those a week. You also get, a lot of times you get like another 60-minute episode. Like that's awesome. And you also get to vote on things like future episodes, and it sounds like they might have more around the corner. They're doing a really cool tease right now. The month of July is going to be all things SpongeBob, so I'm really excited for that, and this would be the perfect time to start listening because I know many of you grew up SpongeBob/Nickelodeon fans. Anyways, the Disney Desk podcast, certified slapper. Music picks. My first one this week is the song Kelsey by the band Metro Station. Now, you may or may not remember Metro Station. I'm kind of assuming that you do, but if you're unfamiliar, Metro Station, they had multiple members, but there were 2 members that were truly the face of the band. One was Trace Cyrus, the stepson of Billy Ray Cyrus / brother of Miley Cyrus. And then they also had the other singer was a older brother of one of the actors on Hannah Montana. So 2 brothers. This is all Disney, this weekly wrap up apparently. Anyways, Metro Station was best known for a song called Shake It, but that wasn't their best song, at least in my opinion. Kelsey was. Kelsey was produced by 2 brilliant musicians by the name of Justin Pierre and Josh Kane. They came from a band called Motion City Soundtrack, who, going back to my Minneapolis days, were like Minneapolis rock gods. Also, Justin Pierre is just genuinely a good person. I'm sure Josh is too, I just don't know him as well. Fun fact, yours truly played bass on a Justin Pierre song a handful of years ago. So if we're talking about like degrees of separation from someone, if I played bass on Justin Pierre's song, and Justin Pierre sang on the song Kelsey, and Kelsey is sung by Trace Cyrus, and he's Miley Cyrus's brother, can we just say that I've played bass for Miley Cyrus? We can't. That's okay. Back to Metro Station. Justin Pierre and Josh Kane produced the song. Justin Pierre also sings in the song. The song is like so well written, and honestly, going back and listening recently, Metro Station's better than I think people gave them credit for. I think there are some people that thought they were kind of cheesy back in the day, but also they were interjected in this kind of strange time where like metalcore and post-hardcore were relevant, coming out of emo scene MySpace days, and this still was during MySpace days, but Metro Station didn't quite follow in the complete electronic direction of a lot of other bands, say like a Breathe Carolina or things like that. They like kind of touched on the 80s in a way and had like darker tones at times. Shake It's not at all darker tones, but it was just a little bit different. Kelsey is loaded with, it's just a good vibe. I'd go listen to it, but one of my favorite parts on it is the synthesizer, which is obviously if you do listen to Motion City Soundtrack, Josh and Justin's other band, synthesizer is such a huge part of their band. And if it wasn't for Trace and the other guy, I think his name is Mason, singing on this, it could possibly be a Motion City soundtrack song if Justin decided to only sing on it. Because the parts where Justin is singing and then the synth comes in, I'm like, okay, I see all the influence coming in here. Like, they wanted them to produce this song for sure. But yeah, Kelsey, Metro Station, go listen to it for the first time or refamiliarize yourself with it. We're staying in the pop realm with pick number 2. See, it's not all like hardcore metal, emo, screamo, shoegaze up on this channel. 2 pop songs for you today. We're going with the song Perfect Day by the artist Hoku. I can almost guarantee you know this song because it found its way into a little cinematic masterpiece released in 2001 by the name of Legally Blonde. I don't have a lot to say in regards of deep diving into this song, but it's just a bright, happy song. Roll down your windows, take the top down on your convertible. It's summer out and work just told you don't have to come in today. Have an awesome time. That's what the song sounds like. Stylistically, it's for sure poppy, but there's electric guitar in it that gives it kind of like a pop punk element. Hoku has changed over the years, but her earliest stuff was like, didn't have like this guitar stuff on it. And all of her songs on this album do either, but this song itself finds herself like stylistically somewhere in between, say, Britney Spears / Christina Aguilera, and then Avril Lavigne / like Gwen Stefani. I think she might have even opened for Gwen Stefani on a tour sometime. They're like no doubty kind of sound. Don't quote me on that, but I think she may have opened for Gwen. But this song is like smashed in between that. There's like a lot of that pop element of Spears and Aguilera, but also the rockier of Stefani, No Doubt / Avril Lavigne kind of deal. Anyways, those are my music picks for this week. That's a wrap up. Thank you so much for hanging out. Peace and love.